Hello and welcome to Boxes of Comics. I am your host, Chase Higgins, and tonight we continue to read the Marvel Encyclopedia. So that's pretty cool. We have a couple more villains to talk about, and then we will move on to Shield. Before we get any further, let me go ahead and post the control link to join. Copy, paste. So that is the link if you would like to join. And like I said, my name is Chase Higgins, and we are Boxes of Comics. If you are just finding our channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're a returning subscriber, let me say welcome back. And before we get any further, hold on a moment. But hopefully that is a bit better. Um, Like I said, my name is Chase Higgins. This is Boxers of Comics, and we are continuing to read the Marvel Encyclopedia. I'd like to say we are about uh, halfway through, as we are on page 149, and there are how many? 235. Yeah, we're a bit more than halfway through. There's only 235 pages to go through, so that's good. Um, okay, so a couple things before we begin is number one, after we finish this book, um, not sure what I'm gonna do. I think what I'm going to do is talk about what we would do when if we were to create the DCEU and we talk about it with some friends and whatnot. I think that would be pretty cool. Um, Number two is I completed my Web of Spider-Man run for those of you that don't know, and um, I'm waiting on two more books to come in through the mail, and then we'll make another video about that. And then we also have our Star Wars review. The problem is um, when we go to edit, the software that we use to edit doesn't work. So we've been trying to figure out a new thing. We're hoping by this weekend. And so if we get it done by the end of this weekend, I think that'll be pretty good. So those are the updates. Once again, after the encyclopedia is done, we're going to start a brand new series at Boxes of Comics where it's us talking to others or just by ourselves. And we're going to create a DC cinematic universe to compete with Marvel Cinematics universe. So that'll be interesting. And then once again, the video is having problems, but once we get that up, we're going to film a brand new Spider-Man video since we now have a complete set of Spider-Man. So those are the two updates. Once again, if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And let's go ahead and finish Monsters so that way next week we can move on to Shield with a strategic, homeland, investigative, and logical division. Okay, so we got two more things to cover here. We got Looks like Morbius right there. It says, looks aren't everything. The Avengers fly high above sunny streets, but other champions lurk deep underneath. The Legion of Monsters are shunned for their horrific appearance, but they protect their fellow creatures of the night from monster hunters and hateful humans. The Legion of Monsters guard Monster Metropolis, located deep below New York City in the filthy, smelly sewers. It's a safe haven for those of their kind. Hmm, that's pretty interesting. 3,000 years ago, warrior Inkantu was magically embalmed by an evil priest and kept in a tomb for a millennia. Awake but paralyzed, now he is free. The mystical fluids that flow in him grant him amazing strength to assemble this league of monsters. Man Thing guards the nexus of all realities, a gateway between different dimensions through which he can teleport himself and his fellow teammates. The curse of lycanthropy has blighted generations of Jacob, Jack Russell's family. Jack usually keeps his werewolf side under control, but sometimes he gives into his rage. The result clashes with Moon Knight and Doctor Strange. So that's pretty interesting. Then you have when good guys go bad. Uh, Clued up, Satana is drafted into Luke Cage's Thunderbolts to beef up the team's magical defenses. Her first-hand knowledge of demons comes in handy when the Asgardian Kurth possesses the body of fellow team member, the Juggernaut. So that's pretty interesting. So it seems like they just go around and fight all members of the Marvel Universe. Family connections. Satana isn't known as the Devil's daughter for anything. She inherits the vastly powerful dark magics from her demonic father, making her one of the most powerful witches on planet Earth. Then we have Frank Castle, the Punisher, is chopped to pieces by the assassin Daken. Morbius stitches him back together into a patchwork Franken castle. Hmm, I did not know that. One of Peter Parker's Horizon Labs colleagues works behind closed doors in a hazmat containment suit. Peter discovers it's none other than Dr. Michael Morbius searching for a cure for his vampirism. Legendary monster hunter Elsa Bloodstone is actually an ally of the Legion and the peaceful inhabitants of Monster Metropolis. These beasts police themselves and pose little threats to humans. Hmm. Wide-webbed face skills allow Manphibian to breathe underwater, while sharp claws are for attacking and defending. And a tough armor-like skin can even withstand missile attacks. What is a living vampire? Unlike most vampires, Morbius's need for blood stems from a scientific accident, not a supernatural curse. He is vulnerable to sunlight but is not truly undead, and he is immune to holy water, garlic, and crucifixes. Members of the Legion of Monsters are Werewolf by Night, Man-Thing, Morbius the Living Vampire, Satana, Incantanu, the Living Mummy, and Manphibian. Their base is at Monster Metropolis. Allies are Punisher, Elsa Bloodstone, and Ghost Rider, while their foes are Hunter of Monster Special Forces and of Robert Hillsguard. Pretty cool. We then move on to Gods Among Us. To gain knowledge of the future, Odin tears out his own eye and throws it into the well of wisdom. The eye grows and takes on a life of its own, traveling the universe and giving enigmatic advice to Thor. Handle with care. Odin has a powerful weapon, Gungnir, the Spear of Heaven. It's made of Uru metal and can channel the Odin force. Unlike Thor's hammer Mjolnir, or Jonathan, as Ant-Man Paul Rudd calls it, you don't have to be worthy to wield it. The top 5 no good gods. Number 5 is Hela, queen of the dead, wants to bring all mortals and gods of Asgard into hell. Number 4 is Pluto, Greek god of death, plots to conquer the Olympus in the world, but is defeated by Earth's superheroes. Number 3 is Seth, Egyptian god of the dead, imprisons other Egyptian gods and inspires Apocalypse to conquer the world. 2 is Loki, Asgardian god of mischief, obsessed with power and getting one over his brother Thor. Number 1 is Amatsu Mikubashi, Japanese god of evil. He kills Zeus and launches the Chaos War to wipe out all of existence. Why do the gods of Earth no longer interact with mortals? 1,000 years ago, the Celestials made them promise not to interfere with humanity. That's why Zeus and Odin get so angry when Hercules and Thor keep going to Earth and playing hero. To protect Earth, Odin builds a mighty weapon, a massive suit of armor named the Destroyer. It contains the life forces of every Asgardian. The Asgardians and Olympians get most of the attention thanks to Thor and Hercules, but Earth is home to many families of gods. They include the gods of Heliopolis, which is Egyptian, the Vodou, African, the Amatsu Kami, Japanese, the Zain is Chinese, and the Manidog, Native American. The gods of Earth meet at the Council of Godheads to decide the matters of heavenly importance. The multiverse is home to many gods. They usually stay out of mortal affairs, but when they do get involved, the results can be earth-shattering. Every god fears Autumn the Godeater, also known as the Demigorge. He lives in the sun and devours deities that turn against humanity. He suffers a fatal case of indigestion when he swallows the scroll god Sklurg. Pretty cool. And so that is where we will stop, as we are now into Shield. And let me show you what that looks like. So that is Shield, and that is where we will start next week. So that's all we have for tonight. I want to thank you all for joining. And if you are watching this on the rewatch, it's good to see you, even though I'm not actually seeing you. But like I said earlier, we are trying to upload a Star Wars video. After Star Wars, we'll do Spider-Man and then back to Star Wars, which our next Star Wars video will be the beginning of the original trilogy, which is episode 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, 9. We are a little more than halfway through this Marvel Encyclopedia. So after that, I think I'm going to start doing the DC thing. I had that as an idea. I think that'll be pretty cool. And that's all I have for tonight. So I'd like to thank those of you that watched live. And for those that are watching rerun, I hope you're doing well. And remember to like and subscribe and have a good day. So I will see you next Tuesday, hopefully, if I don't work, on Boxes of Comics. And yeah, goodbye.